In today's video, we'll teach you how to create a navigation bar with a pop-up login and registration form using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. My goal with this channel is to post videos on different topics every week. This will help you to become a full stack developer. It's important to keep watching this step-by-step tutorial until the end. Here on the screen, we can able to see the website that contains top navigation bar with logo and menu items. For the menu items, we have a over effect to change the color and shadow to it. Along with that, we have a login button too. Once user click the login button, will get the pop-up box which contains login information like email, password, remember me and forget password too. And then we have a basic validation while clicking login button. It pops a validation message says please fill out this field. If you want to expand your knowledge about validation, I have added two more videos on our channel, user form validation and animated login form validation. Check them out after watching this video to gain a better understanding. And then below to this login button, we have a option says don't have an account, sign up now. If we click this, we'll get the cool animation effect to display the registration form from right to left, which contains username, email, password, and terms and condition checkbox too. While clicking this create account, we'll get the basic validation over here. And then below to this, we have a option says already have an account, then login. While clicking this, we'll switch back to the login form from left to right. And again, we can go back to the sign up and we can go back to the login again. And then in the top right corner, we have a option to close the pop-up model box and we can open and we can close this too. Before beginning this video, I would like to introduce myself as Sharachandar K. Most of you are watching my videos without subscribing. So please subscribe to our channel and like this video to encourage me. Let's build our own. Here on my desktop, I have already created a project folder name called navigation bar with pop-up. Let me open this into a Visual Studio Code. So for that, I will drag this directory into a Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code will load all the files inside it. Inside the directory, I have already created a three different files name called index.html, style.css and script.js. In the index.html, I have already added a HTML boilerplate with the help of exclamation mark, that is an embed abbreviation of an Visual Studio Code. Along with that, I have added a title name called navigation bar with pop-up by Sharachandar K. And then I have linked two more files into the index.html with the help of link and then script. And here right below we have one more link tag to use the icons with the help of font awesome CDN here. And then in the style.css already imported the URL of font family name called Poppins. And then I have added a asterisk here. This means all element. With the help of this, I have set this margin set to 0 and padding set to 0. Box sizing should be border box and I use the font family Poppins with the import URL and I have set the transition all with 4 seconds. Again in the index.html inside the body element we are going to add the website content. So with the help of nav we are going to add the navigation bar. If I hit enter, this is an embed abbreviation to create a nav. Inside the nav we are going to add the logo. So for that with the help of div we are going to add this. So we have another embed abbreviation to type dot and logo. If we hit enter, it will automatically create a div tag with the class attribute with the value of logo. Inside that we can set our website name. As of now I have set your logo and then I will add the UL tag to assign the menu items. With the help of UL, if I hit enter, it will create a UL tag and then inside that we are going to add the LI. So for that we are going to add 5 different types of menu items, so we can add a LI with 5 times with the embed abbreviation. So LI asterisk and 5. If we hit enter, it will automatically create a LI of 5 times and then inside that I'm going to add the href link to set the home element of a menu item and then same for second li href of hashtag and then I will set this as about and then third li contain a href of hashtag and then we can say this menu item name called service and then fourth one as href of hashtag and we can say contact. The fifth one we are going to add the login button. With the help of this we are going to show the model pop-up. So inside that I will add button with the embed abbreviation of button, and I need to set the ID of model login. If I hit enter, it will create a button element and then attribute of ID and then value of model login, and then I will set the name called login. Now let us see our HTML file in action. So for that we have a extension called go live. Once we click this, it will automatically run our server into the default browser. Now we can able to see the your logo and menu items with button. Now we'll style this navigation bar. So for that I will jump to the style.css. In the style.css, first we'll add the styles to the body with the help of element selector name called body, and I will set the height to 100 vh and then background color to white. Now same as we are going to add the styles to the nav too. With the help of element selector with the value of nav, I will set the position to relative, will set the height to 70 px, and then we'll set the padding inner spacing should be 0 for top and bottom and right and left to 10 percentage. And I need to set these menu items into the center of the screen with the help of display flags, and then align items center, justify content space between. I will set the background color to blue. If I save, now we can able to see the design. It set the your logo and the menu items into the center of the navbar. Right now we need to set this menu items into a list of row with the help of again nav with element selector of ul. I will set again center of this list. So with the display flags, I will set align items to be center. If I save, now we can able to see all the menu items into the center of the nav. So again I will add the styles to the li. So inside that we have the ul, and now we are going to add the styles to the li. With the help of element selector, I will set the margin outer spacing of 0 for top and bottom, right and left to 5 px, and then I will remove this list style to none. It will remove this dot into the list, and then we'll set the overflow to hidden. If I save, now we can able to see the styles here. Now we are going to add the styles to the logo. So I will go here. Previously we have added the styles to the body of element selector. So now we need to add the styles to the your logo with the help of class. So with the help of class selector, we can use the dot and then class name. These styles will applicable to that particular element of the class selector. So I will set the font size to 25 px. I will set the font weight to 500, and then color should be white, and then we'll set the cursor to pointer. If I save, now we can able to see the styles here. Now I will add the styles to the menu items. Before that, we'll remove the underline to each a tag. So I will add the element selector of a directly, will add the text decoration to none. This will remove the underline of all the a tag it present in the website. So again I will add the nav element selector with the help of a. So we are going to add to the styles to the particular li inside the nav bar, right? So we have added the nav li and a. Will set the position to relative, and then font size 17 px. I will set the font weight to 400. Padding inner space should be 10 px. We'll set the display to inline block. We'll set the letter spacing to 1 px. Again the color should be white. If I save, now we can able to see the navigation menu items into the center of the screen with an uniform space. Now whenever we have in the over of this particular menu items, we need to add the styles. So with the help of nav li a again, we'll set the over effect to that with the help of over, and we'll set the color to light yellow color, and then we'll set the box shadow to this with 0.05 px again with the same yellow color, and then we'll set the text shadow to the same 0.05 px again with the yellow color. If I save, if I go on over, now we can able to see the styles to this. Now we'll add the styles to the button. Again with the navbar with li, we'll set the styles to the button with the element selector. We'll add the width of 80 px, and then font size should be 14 px. If I save, Now we can able to see the styles to that particular button. We have set this width and font size to the button. Now we'll add the styles to the button again with the help of button directly with the element name, because in the website we have only one button to this. So we are going to set all the button styles as same as this. So I will use the button selector to all the buttons. Again I will set the width of 50 percentage and I will set height to 45 px and then background color to light gray color and then border radius 8 px and then I will set the border width to 2 px. We'll add the color to the button to blue color and then we'll set cursor to pointer. We'll set the border color again light blue color. We'll add the font size to 16 px. We'll set the box shadow to it. Box shadow RGBA color with red to 83, green to 109, blue to 254, all four should be 0.2. We'll add the 0 to 2px with 4px. Again with the second color of RGBA color again we'll set the same of red 83, green to 109, blue to 254 and then all four should be 0.15. I will set the position of 0, 7px and 13px minus 3px and then I will add the color of light gray color with 0 minus 3px 0 and insert. If I save, now we can able to see the button here. Once we click this we need to add the transition to it. Again in the button we'll add the transition to box shadow 0.15 second and transform to 0.15 second. Now whenever we are in the focus or we are in the over, we need to add the clickable style here. So I will add the button with focus. We'll remove the outline to none. Again the box shadow with the same light gray color with the help of zeros and 1.5px insert. Again RGBA color, again the red to 83, green to 109, blue to 254 and alpha should be 0.4. We'll set the position to 0, 2px and 4px. We'll add another RGBA color with the same 83, 109 and 254, all four should be 0.3. I will add the position to 0, 7px, 13px with minus 3px with the color of light gray color again with the position of 0, minus 3px, 0 and insert. If I save, if I go on over, we can see the effect of the bug shadow. And then same thing we need to add for button over to. Button over, again we'll add the box shadow to it with the help of RGBA color 83, 109, 254 and all four should be 0.3 with the position of 0, 4px and then 8px. Again with the second color of RGBA color with 83, 109, 254 and 0.2 of alpha. Again with the position of 0, 7px, 13px minus 3px. Again with the color of light gray color, position of 0, minus 3px, 0 and insert. We'll add the transform to it. Transform, translate y to minus 2px. If I save, if I go on over, now we can able to see the transform to translate to the top of minus 2px. Whenever we click this, we need to make that as a clickable event. So with the help of button active, we'll set the box shadow again with the same color of light gray color with 0, 3px of position and 7px insert. And then we'll add the transform translate y again to 2px. If I save, once we click this, we can feel that the button is clickable. Now we'll add the pop-up area here. So again, I will jump to the index.html. Below to the navbar, I will add one more div with the embed abbreviation with dot model container. If I hit enter, it will create a div with class, and inside that we are going to add one more div with model content. If I hit enter, it will create one more div, and then inside that we are going to create a form. So I will add the form. Inside the form I will add one more element called header with h2, and I will say login here. If I save, Now we can able to see the login here, and then inside the form we are going to add one more div with form control. With the help of this div we are going to add the elements of label and inputs. Inside that I will add one more label. If I hit enter, it will create a label with the for. This is for email, and then I will mention the label name as email, and then below to this I will add the input with email and then ID of email. If I hit enter, it will create an input type with email and then ID of email. So this for is pointed to this particular input. If I save, now we can able to see the email here. So again I will copy this same and I will paste it here. Again the form control, I will change the email to password and then type to password and then ID to password, this label for the below password too. If I save, now we can able to see two inputs on the login. So now here we are going to add the icons. So we are using the icons with the font awesome with the help of I with class FA as contains font awesome, and we'll add FA with envelope. If I close the I tag, if I save, now we can able to see the email icon here. The same thing, I will copy this I tag and I will paste it here. Instead of envelope, I will change to lock. If I save, now we can able to see the icons to this. And then next to this, we are going to add one more div with form control others. If I hit enter, it will create one more div. Inside that, we are going to add the remember me and then forget password. So for that, inside the div, one more div with the class value of forget. Inside that, with the help of label, this is for remember and then class value of remember and then label value as remember me. If I save, now we can able to see the remember me label here. Apart from that, we are going to add the checkbox here. So again, input type as checkbox. If I hit enter, it will create a input type with checkbox and the name as remember and then ID should be remember to. So right now the name is not required, so I will remove this. So now we can able to see the checkbox here, and then next to this we are going to add the forget password. So here I will add the href. I will say the value of forget password with question mark. If I save, now we can able to see the remember me and forget password here. And then next to this we are going to create one more div with same form control others. If I hit enter, it will create a div. Inside that we'll simply add the button says login. If I save, now we can able to see the button with the styles already, because we have added a styles to the button globally with the help of element selector name called button. And then next to this, again with the help of another div with form control others, inside that we are going to add the label for create and then value of this label don't have an account, sign up now. This sign up now is an clickable option, so we'll add this sign up now with the help of href. I will mention this href value as JavaScript void with the help of 0, and I will say the ID of create and then value should be sign up now. If I save, now we can able to see the label don't have an account, then sign up. Now we'll style this model container. So for that I will jump to the style.css. Again with the help of class value of class selector dot with the class name, I will set the position to absolute, will set top to 0 and then right to 0, bottom to 0 and then left to 0. If I save, now we can able to see the container is set to position. Again we are going to set this into the center of the screen with the help of display flags, align items center with the help of justify content center. If I save, now we can able to see the model container into the center of the screen, and then we'll set the background with the help of RGBA color. I will set all the values of red to 77, green to 77 and blue to 77. All for should be 0.7. If I save, now we can able to see the background as blurred. Again I will add the transition to all with 0.4 second. If I save, now we can able to see this, and now we'll set the styles to the model content too, because we have set this model container into the center of the screen with the help of parent div of model container. We are going to add the styles with the model content of the child. We'll set the border radius to 4px and then position to relative. We'll set the height to 475px. I will set the width of 500px. We'll set the min width to 90 percentage. We'll set the background to white, and then we'll set the padding, inner spacing, top and bottom to 1 em, right and left to 2 em. Again, we'll set the display to flags to set this to center of the screen with align items center, justify content center. We'll set overflow to hidden. If I save, now we can able to see the login style to the background as a model content and then parent as a model container. And then now we'll set the styles to the form with the help of element selector name called form. I will set the width of 450 px to all the forms, and again I will set the styles to the h2 header tag. With the help of h2 we'll set the text align to center and then margin to outer spacing 20 px. If I save, now we can able to see the login into the center of the screen. And here we have missed to add that crash icon to close the container. So again I will jump to the index.html. I will add the cross icon to the entire model content with the help of font awesome I with the class of fa times. If I save, now we can able to see the cross icon here. We need to style this. So again I will jump to the style.css with the help of fa times class name. The class selector of dot will set the cursor to pointer, will set the position to absolute. I will set right to 5 px and then top to 5 px. If I save, now we can able to see the cross icon into the top right corner of the model container. Now we added the styles to the login and we added the styles to the icon. Now we are going to add the styles to the form control. Again with the help of class selector name called form control, we'll set this center of the div with the help of display flags. I will set the flux direction to column. I will add the padding to 10 px top, 10 px right, and then bottom to 8 px. I will add the border to 1 px solid and then right gray color. We'll add the border radius to 4 px and then margin bottom of each form control should be 20 px. We'll add the transform to 0.3 second. If I save, now we can able to see the form control design here. Now we need to add the design to the label as well as the input, right? So again with the help of form control label, I will set the font size to 11 px, text transform to uppercase and then font weight to 600. Then we'll set the letter spacing of 0.7 px. We'll add the color to blue color and then we'll set the transition again to 0.3 second. If I save, now we can able to see the label style here. Again with the help of form control, we'll add the styles to the input. I will remove the outline to none. I will remove the border to none. We'll add the padding to 4 px 0 and 0. I will set the font size to 14 px. If I save, we can't able to see the border here. Now we can able to see the email and password in a same form control. I will add the space here. So now we can able to get the space here. And now whenever we are going to over this, we need to add the border color to the particular form control, right? So for that, again with the help of form control, we'll set the focus to within the input. Because this was in the text box, we are going to add the styles to the parent form control, right? Whenever we are going to focus this, we have an option to add focus within, and then we'll set the border color of the form control. We'll add the light black color. If I go on over this, now we can able to see the form control focus with the border color. So again we'll change the color to the email and label password too. With the help of same thing, I will copy this and I will paste it here, and then I will set these things to label. If I save, if I go on focus, instead of border, we'll change these things to color, because we are going to change the color to the label, right? So if I go here, now we can able to see the difference here. If I over this particular input box, we can able to see the difference on the label as well as the border color. Now we have to style this with the help of class name called forget. I will set this into the center of the screen. Again with the help of display flags, we'll set the justify content to space between. Again align item center. I will add the font size to 14 px. If I save, now we can able to see this into the center of the screen, right? And then now we'll add the styles to the label with the help of forget label. We'll set the position to unset. We'll add the cursor to pointer. Again, display flags. User select of the label should be none. Font size should be 14px. If I save, now we can able to see this label here. Now we'll add the styles to the form control others. We'll set the margin of 5% auto. We'll set the text align to center. If I save, now we can able to see the form control values should be center of the div, and we have aligned text to the center. Now you can able to see the email and password. Remember me, we need to add the space here, so I will go here with the help of and nbsp. This will add a space to this. Once we click login, we need to add the validation, right? So before that, we need to add one more form to the registration, right? So for that, I will copy this entire form here. I will paste it right below here. And for this, for the first form, I will mention the class as login, and then second form as class called registration. If I save, now we can able to see the login and registration into the single window. Now we need to add one more form control here. So I will copy this, I will paste it again in the top. I will change the email to username and then icon to user. If I save, now we can able to see the username, email, and then password. Here for the each inputs, we need to add the placeholders. So I will start adding from the login of the email. I will set the placeholder with enter your email, and then placeholder of password to enter your password. If I save, now we can able to see the placeholder here. Sorry, instead of this, I need to set these things to the password. Now if I save, now we can able to see the placeholder of email as well as the password too. And then again, I will jump to the registration. I will change the for to username and then ID to username, type to text. We'll add the placeholder to enter your username, and then for email enter your email, and then password for again enter your password. If I save, now we can able to see the placeholder with login, and I will change this login to registration. If I save, now we can able to see the both forms into a single container. Here in the below, we need to remove this label, right? Instead of forget, I will add terms. I will change the label to terms, and this should be a checkbox, and again the value should be terms, and then instead of remember me, I read and agree to terms and condition, and then I will remove this forget password href here. Now we can able to see the I read and agree to the terms and condition. Again I will go and add the style to this. With the help of same class, I will copy and I will change the forget to terms. If I save, now we can able to see the styles to here too. So I will remove the space here, and then instead of login, we can say create account, and I will change this login to uppercase to add this uniform, and then here instead of don't have an account, we change these things to already have an account. Instead of create, I can say login, and instead of sign up, I will change these things to login. If I save, we have completed the design with login and registration. Now whenever we click that login, that time only we need to pop up this, right? Now at that first time we need to show only the login, right? So we need to hide this. So I will add the styles to the registration with the help of class registration. I will set this position to absolute, and then we'll set the transform to translate 500px. If I save, now we can able to see the registration form went to the left hand side. Whenever we click login, that time only we need to show this login box, right? So for that we need to completely hide this model container. So I will go to the model container here. We'll set the visibility to hidden. We'll set the opacity to 0. If I save, now we can't able to see that model container. Whenever we click this, we need to open that, right? So for that, with the help of JavaScript, we are going to achieve that. So for that, I will jump to the script.js. In the script.js, we are going to declare the declaration with the help of document. So I will add the const with, we get the model container here with the help of document. Document is an owner of your web page. With the help of document, we can do anything in the HTML. So I will go and copy this class with the model container with the document dot dot, we'll get the query selector with model container. Whenever we click login, that time only we need to get this right. So for that, I have already added the button name with model login. So I will add the same const with model login with document dot get element by id. The easiest way to find an element is an get by an id, and then we'll get another declaration with create. Whenever we click this sign on, we need to show that registration, right? So for that, with the help of document again by document get element by id, the id value of create, again we need to switch back to the login with the help of login here with document dot get element by id, again the id here, and based on this we are going to show and hide the forms, right? So for that, again I will get this login class here. So we have used the same name here. Instead of login, I can say login here. I will change this login here. I will copy and paste it here, and I will change this values to here. Now I will create the form declaration with the help of class with login. I will set login form to document dot query selector here, because we are going to get the element with the value of class. So again the second form should be registration, again with document dot query selector with the class selector of registration. If I save, that's all of the declaration. Now we are going to add the click event here. So here with the model login dot on click, we'll create the function of on click. Now we are going to show the model container, right? So I will copy this model container. We'll check the console dot log with what else in that model container. If I save, if I go here, I will open the insert element here. If I click login, now we can able to see the model container here. So whenever we click this, we need to show these things to open, right? So again I will go here in the style.css, will add the class to the model container. So again in the model container dot open, we'll add the class to this particular value. Whenever we added this class, we'll set the visibility to visible and then opacity to 1. If I save it again, if I go to the script here in the model container, we have a option to add the model container class with the help of declaration model container dot class list dot add, and I will set this class to the class name as open. If I save, if I click this, now we can able to see the login model container here. How cool is this, right? If I click, we can get it again. Whenever we click this, we need to close this, right? So for that, we'll create a function with close model container, and inside that we'll add the same thing, and instead of add, we'll set things to remove. If I save, if I click this, if I click this again, it will not close because we have created the function. We have not yet invoke or initialize this. So I will go to the index.html to initialize this. So with the help of on click here, directly we can set this on click to that function name, and we need to invoke this with the help of function open and close bracket. Now if I click login, if I click close, because this registration form is merged, we need to fix that. So because of this min width, it was collapsed. So I will go to the style.css here. Instead of min, I will set these things to max width. Again same 90%. Previously it was min width, I was changed to the max width because we are going to set this into the maximum width. So if I save, now we can able to get the cursor pointed to here. If I click this, now we can able to see the cool animation while opening and while closing. And again once we click this, we need to show the registration form, right? So for that, again I will jump to the script.js to add the functionality. For that, we have already created the declaration. With the help of that declaration with on click event, we are going to hide this login form dot set attribute. We'll set the styles to transform translate to minus 500 px. If I save, if I go and click the login, now we can able to get this. If I click sign up now, we can able to see the login form is transformed to the minus 500 px, but the registration form is not shown. So for that, again we'll add the styles to the registration form dot, again with set attribute of style, we'll add the transform translate to 0. If I save, again I will go here. If I click login, if I click sign up, now we can able to see this. How cool is this, right? Once we click login, we need to show the login form too, right? So I will copy this same and I will paste it here. Instead of create on click, I will change these things to login click here. And then here it is simple. Instead of adding the styles, we'll remove the attribute of style. So this will automatically taken care of what we done for the previous thing. I will remove the styles to the both of the form. If I save, if I go and click here login, we'll get the form. If I click sign up now, we'll get the registration form. If I click login, we'll get the login form here. Now we need to add the basic validation here, right? So for that, I will jump to the index.html. In the form, for all the inputs, I will set the attribute of required. If I save, if I click login button here, we'll get the basic validation says please fill out this field. So I will add the required to password input to. If I click the login, it will show the pop-up. I will add the test. It will indicate we have missed the pattern of the email address. We'll add the test mail.com. Now this is valid. Now again, the password field is mandatory to enter this value, and we have an option to check remember me and then forget password. If I sign up now, if I click create account, this should be set to the same basic validation, right? So again, I will copy and paste this required to all the input fields. I will add the terms and condition to. If I save, if I click login, I will go to the sign up now. If I click create account, username should be test user. If I click create account, we'll get the validation to the email. We'll add the test at mail.com followed along the pattern. If I click create, we need to enter the password. If I click create, we'll get the validation to the checkbox too. If I click create, now all the fields as valid. And again, we can go back to the login. We go back to the registration. We can close. If you want to expand your knowledge about validation, I have added two more videos on our channel: user form validation and animated login form validation. I have added the link in the description. Please do check it out. Finally, we have completed this website that has a navigation bar with a pop-up login and registration form using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I hope this video will be helpful for you. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel Sharatchandar K to watch more videos like this one. If you are interested in JavaScript project like this, I have created and added a playlist link in the description. Please do check it out. Now I want to hear from you. If you have any questions or what JavaScript topics do you want us to cover in the future videos, drop your suggestions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.